number 30. 30. -2 Celsius. So I'm just getting ready to leave the Flying J here in Winnipeg. And why it's low on air is because I just hooked up to the trailer, and all the air was off, and I turned the air suspension on, and I left and I went to have lunch. And so the air went into the suspension and it became low. Alright, let's make sure we're on Canadian cycle over here. Yeah, looks good. It's a Winnipeg. It's about 2 hours to Ontario border, and I just want to go to TA in Dryden, Ontario. Wait a second, is that TA or is that petrol? Yeah, I don't. Oh, it's Husky. Yeah, like, what am I talking about? The only TA in Canada is in Woodstock, Ontario. That's the only travel centers of America in Canada. The entire Canada has only one TA. So Husky Esso, there you go. Government Street. Yep. Directions. Yeah, it's gonna take me about 4 hours. Time now is 1:45 Eastern time, but it's only 1:45 local time. But as soon as I enter, actually, wait a second. Dryden is still on Central time. Oh, cool. Yeah, Dryden. It's a very rare, actually, occurrence when Ontario you have Central time. Is very cold. All right, good enough. I have a new SD card inside the camera. I think that's what was causing the shutdowns. So I bought 2 new SD cards, and so if this one shuts down, I have this one on standby also with a brand new card. Now, a lot of people were panicking when I showed this knife, which the guy ordered from a souvenir company because it has his name here, right? So I got this from my last customer, and a lot of people were telling me this is an illegal weapon. Now, if you see a spring anywhere there, you let me know. But what happens is that this, you see this part? So the blade has this little thing in here, and it prevents it from closing. So there's no spring. So all you do is you push the blade with your finger. There's no button, like the actual you know, illegal weapon would have a button with a spring where you click it, it opens. You click it back, it closes. Right? There's no spring here. Like this thing is just, it's a bended piece of metal that holds it from closing, so you have to push it like this to close it. But I love this knife. It's pretty cool. Nothing illegal about that. But just to be on the safe side, we're gonna disable comments because people are just leaving some stupid, you know, commentaries that have nothing to do with reality. Alright, why does it take so long for the brakes to work? Alright, they're working. I guess there's snow in there. And actually, yeah, when I was hooking up to the trailer, the truck was pushing the trailer and it was sliding because underneath the trailer there was snow. And so I spent here, what, 6 days? I think I was here Saturday night. Alright? So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Today is day 6, yeah. And the only reason I did not...
Turn right onto Camp Manitou Road.
Yeah, the only reason I did not leave right away is because I saw loads.
The next right onto Camp Manitou Road.
I saw loads, you know? So a little, not too many at first. And most of them were from here, from Western Canada. Nothing out of Manitoba, but there was a bunch of loads out of Alberta, especially. And so Monday, I know that usually it's dead, right? And the best day is Wednesday, and so I waited till Wednesday to see if anything good will show up. Wednesday was not a very good day. Thursday there was still something more posted, but basically there were some loads.
In 600 meters, use the right lane to take the Trans-Canada Highway.
But they were all going in the wrong direction. And something that was going in the right direction was super cheap. And I hate it when people think that, you know, the trucker can give them some free service, pretty much. Like, they're making money. I'm the only guy that doesn't make any money.
Use the right lane to take the Trans-Canada Highway ramp, then merge on the Trans-Canada Highway.
And so screw them. I'm going back home empty, so it's about 1,230 miles, I think. So I'll be in Dryden tonight, hopefully. And then Saturday, Sunday, I can do 1,000 miles.
Continue on Manitoba 100 south for 39 kilometers.
And I should be back in Southern Ontario Sunday night. Yeah, it says Kenora 232, Kenora 232 kilometers. And the truck stop was in western part of Winnipeg. It's called Headingley, Manitoba. Now one guy calls me, I got really excited. A guy I worked with before, and he's on my mailing list, you know, when I send them updates, truck available. So this guy calls me and he says he has a big crawler. No, I don't think it was a crane. It was just a big excavator that it was so big that they had to take off the boom and the counterweight, and it was still over 100,000 pounds. And last time I hauled the load for this guy, I had a 55-ton trailer. So he's been receiving my status updates for 2 years, and he never opted out. He never emailed me back. I guess he didn't have any loads. And now finally he calls me and he's asking for a quote to Vancouver. And I'm like, holy mackerel, I don't want to go to Vancouver. Truck is on the shoulder. He said, I don't want to go to Vancouver. First off, I would have to buy chains, you know, tire chains. And on my truck, that's a really, you know, difficult thing to do because I have those plastic fenders, right? So I can take them off, but it's a pain in the butt. But for this trip, yeah, let's say I can take them off and buy tire chains. But I really don't want to go into those mountains with a 100,000 pound load, you know. Even though we checked, I called my friend Rob and he checked the weather, and it says the weather on those mountain passes is still okay. It's still above zero, above freezing, but you know, it's almost November, right? So anyway, and I asked this guy, I said, so what's the story? Why is it going to Vancouver? And he says, oh, it's actually going to Asia. The final buyer, the buyer who bought this machine is in Asia, and so it's closer. So it goes to the port, right, Vancouver port, and so he says to get to that country, it's closer from Vancouver. And I said, why don't they ship it from Baltimore? And this guy says, well, actually, yeah, I like Baltimore better. He says, I ship out of there and to that port, he says, 5 days a week. And I said, yeah, I go there all the time too, so maybe they might consider shipping from Baltimore, except of course Baltimore is on the opposite side of the country, so it's probably much further away from that country, from Asia, than from Vancouver. But you never know, maybe it's cheaper from Baltimore because it's a bigger port, they have more ships. So anyway, so you know, you gotta be a bit creative, right? So and this guy says, yeah, so let's can you give me 2 quotes, one to Vancouver and one to Baltimore, and the shipper is like less than an hour away from the truck stop where I was sitting. And I'm like, son of a gun, you know, I want to do this load, it's big and it's heavy, but I want to go to Baltimore. So I gave him 2 quotes, and the guy says, thank you, I'll be in touch. And that was yesterday. And this morning I sent him an email. I said, okay, I'm tired of sitting here. It's cold, you know, it's ugly. I'm tired of this tundra. I said, if I don't hear from you until lunchtime, I'm leaving. I'm driving back home. I got things to do. I got people to see. And he said, oh, my customer is on the way to work. I'll get back to you shortly. And then like half an hour later, he says, yeah, they're not sure, like the final customer, they're still looking like the machine, they paid for it. The machine is, they hope to ship it by the end of the year. Okay, then good thing I'm leaving, right? I cannot sit there until Christmas. But he says they're still looking into the routing options, like which way would it be cheaper for them to go, from Baltimore or from Vancouver. And I said, yeah, I said I'll be around. Just give me a call or email me when they make up their mind, because you know, Winnipeg, it's not that far. It's like it's not Calgary or Edmonton. It's just 2 days for me, right? If the pay is good, I have no problem with driving back. But meanwhile, I got things to do at home. I gotta do some paperwork for my license, my health card, stuff like that. And so yeah, I'll be there Monday. All offices are open Monday, Tuesday. And so yeah, I need a couple of days to do my stuff, and then I can start looking for a load. And actually, another reason why I'm leaving is because I see some loads out of Ontario, I see loads out of Quebec, and there's definitely, for some reason, there's definitely much more loads out of Canada for me to go cross-border. There's much more loads out of Canada than out of US going back to Canada. Like last time I checked when I was having my lunch, just the count for my trailer, there was about 45 listings, and probably 50% of them are double listings, you know, like when they post the same load but for different dates. But just looking at the listings, there was 45 listings Canada to everywhere, like US and Canada for my trailer, but there were only 9 listings from US to Canada. Okay, and again, probably half of those are the same load, just for different dates. Yeah, and this is the bypass around Winnipeg. It's not a real freeway because there's lights on this stretch over here. And we are 27 kilometers from Highway 1 in the eastern part of Winnipeg, which goes east to Ontario. I've been doing some shopping online, some early Christmas shopping for myself. I bought myself a 50mm lens for my Nikon D version. You can still buy it because the new one is G. The D version, it looks kind of like as if it's coming from 70s or 80s, but it's actually sharper than the G version, the newer one. And I know I had it before, so it's like 160 bucks Canadian, but very nice lens, 50mm 1.8. So I got that one, and just got a message saying that it was delivered to my mailbox in Cambridge. And then also this camera I got, you know, the camera is like a gray market camera, right? And everything is good, everything is designed for 110 volts, except that the charger usually has a tip, like a little tip you plug in, and that tip has a prong prongs and they go in the power outlet, but mine did not have that little tip. It came with a very long cable, like probably 6 foot long cable, and I don't like that. And so I tried to find that little tip at my local photography store. They said, no, well, we have to order it. And then I went to B&H Photo website, and I just typed in the search window, I said power adapter accessories Nikon D850, and right away I found that tip, $5 US, and I said, yeah, ship it. Shipping was like, I don't know, $5 to Canada. And the only problem is that they shipped it by FedEx, and FedEx does not deliver to my mailbox. So I checked the status of that shipment. It says incorrect address, please click here or call us. And so I call them, and they said, well, since you're the consignee, you cannot change the address, but you can choose the option hold for pickup nearby the delivery address. And I said, okay, let's hold for pickup. And it's all computer. It's all like the computer is talking. And they gave me 3 options. Like it says, option 1 is this address, hold for pickup. Option 2 is this address, and I chose option 3. It was a big store that can also you can send FedEx shipments. So evidently they'll be holding it for pickup. Okay. And very often that's the weather. That's what the weather's like over here. Always this gray, ugly sky, and it's either ready to snow or it's ready to rain, or both. But the good news is that the construction is going on. That's my money right there. Right? We need construction. And the US elections are coming, right? And of course I'm in Canada, I don't care, but for some reason I like the D version better than the R version, except that this Biden guy threatens to shut down the Keystone Oil project as soon as he's elected, and that's not good. That's the construction project that's been in trouble because it was constantly shut down. People were protesting, but that's oil from Alberta going to US, right? And if you remember that big Volvo excavator that I delivered, was 105,000 pounds, that I delivered to Terrace, British Columbia. That was that pipeline, you know? So when you do IGN loads, you need construction, because if there's no construction, there's no machinery for me to haul. And so that's one thing I don't like about Biden, about the Biden platform. But overall I like him as a guy, I think he's much nicer, you know, than his opponent. So I know I'm gonna lose half of my subscribers, but I don't care too much because, as I discovered recently, most of the views are from non-subscribers anyway. And I have what, 61,000 before this video, right? I had 61,000 subscribers, and a typical video would get 10,000 views. So where's the other 50,000? You know, why are they not watching? So this subscription thing, it's way overrated. So as long as your videos are interesting, people will watch. I don't care if they're subscribers, non-subscribers, but alright, this is Highway 75. So this 75 goes straight south to that place where I spent 2 days, Emerson, Manitoba, and then on the US side it's Pembina, North Dakota. And this highway is also known as, I think it's known as Pembina Highway on the Canadian side. And so US, North Dakota is about 75 kilometers, 45 miles that way. And so now we're driving, yeah, like around Winnipeg, and then jumping on Highway 1, which goes east towards this. So basically I'm looking for the sign that says Kenora, Dryden. The restaurant was open at the Flying J with very limited amount of tables, and each table would have a sign, you know, either it's closed or it's sanitized and open, and they just position them, you know, at least 6 feet, 2 meters away. And everybody's wearing masks. Like there's a sign on the door, cannot enter unless you have a face covering. And I dropped my trailer and I went to drove 3 kilometers, 2 miles to a shopping plaza. And over there it's all the same rules. Everybody's wearing masks. And I talked to the Uber guy because I spent 2 days at the hotel in downtown there. And he warned me, he says, you don't want to be walking at night over here. And I said, why not? And he says, oh, it's very bad. Lots of crime, evidently, in Winnipeg. Yeah, this guy said he moved from Brampton. And he said over there, he could walk at night, no problem, but over here he says it's dangerous. You can get stabbed, or you can they can take some money from you. That's the last, that one is the last light. And the warning yellow light is blinking again, so it's gonna be red by the time I reach it. From here it's 5 miles, 8 kilometers to Trans-Canada 1. was shopping for, I wanted to get a bigger throttle body for my Challenger 6.4 liter car. But it was in stock on Amazon, and I went with free shipping, which says 5-7 business days. And then I changed the shipping speed to a 2-day express. And today's Friday. I think I ordered that thing on like Monday. Yeah, on Monday. And it's still not shipped. And I look at the money that this thing costs, and you can actually, for that kind of money, you can buy a tuner from Diablo Sport with and they unlock your PCM. They unlock your computer, so you have to send them your PCM from the car and then lock it, and then you have a tune. So that's much more useful. So I went in and I canceled that throttle body order because it was not shipped yet, so it took 5 seconds to cancel. And then I tried to order the tuner from Diablo Sport website and could not do it. My credit card did not work. I have to call my bank, see what's going on. And quite often, you know, what they do is they see somebody's trying to buy something online, and I'm sitting in Manitoba, right? And I'm buying something online, and it's $600 US. And they don't like it. They don't like it that, you know, they see my car, they see my location, right? They know that it's coming. I'm not in Ontario. I'm in Manitoba. And I tried to call them, see if they block my card again. And got that message again, you know, well, due to COVID-19, your waiting time will be longer than usual. Like, if you want to wait, just hold tight. But if you want, you can schedule a call on our website. Like, what? I never saw that option. You can schedule a call and somebody will call you back. And I'm like, no, I don't wanna schedule a call. I'll wait. And then I wait like 1 or 2 minutes, and then it says, please leave a message. Boom, and the call is disconnected. Like, what kind of a customer service is that? And so I wasn't able to buy that tuner. I tried a different card, and I clicked place order, double check my address, everything is cool. I clicked place order on the Diablo Sport. Diablo Sport message says duplicate invoice number. What? Basically, you have to delete this item from your shopping cart, keep shopping again, add it back to your card, and then you can use a different credit card. But because it's already something you tried to use and it was declined, duplicate invoice number. Like, what else can go wrong, you know? Just trying to buy something, a performance part for my car, and it doesn't work. So, and now of course I'm going into, you know, pretty not very populated area, so I'm pretty sure that the cell signal is gonna be bad. So I tried calling the bank from the Flying J there, and that's when they hang up on me. Leave a message or go online to schedule a call back. So I'll try it tomorrow. I know they open on the weekend. Oh, here's a truck stop as well, and quite big one. What is this? Petrol. Petro Canada. Alright, so finally we are on Trans-Canada 1. I think from here, how far to Ontario? Yeah, the sign on the right says Falcon Lake, 125, Kenora 191. I think Falcon Lake is the last lake on the Manitoba side. So yeah, so pretty much just over an hour, and I'll be in Ontario. And from there, yeah, so now the distance is 331. 331 kilometers, and so let's say 130 to the border. And yeah, I know from that rest area where I always stop, there's a huge rest area right when you see the sign Ontario. I slept there a couple of times, but there's nothing there, just parking, and they have these portable bathrooms, but lots of parking for oversized load. I know from there it's almost exactly 200 kilometers to Dryden, to my final destination for the day. So my tablet says if I keep driving non-stop, I'll be there at 10 to 6. It's probably gonna be dark already. Some kind of the right lane is closed. Construction. "60 kilometers an hour, come on." Construction, or is it an accident? Yeah, I see some excavators working over there. Basically in the ditch. Looks like construction. What do you got? We got Komatsu PC 350 LC, and the other one is 210 LC.
Head southeast on Trans-Canada Highway, Manitoba 1 east towards Station Road. Continue for 327 kilometers.
Big wheel loader, Komatsu as well. plus 2 Celsius, 34 F. Still above freezing, which is good. Set the cruise at my favorite speed, 95 kilometers an hour, which is 59 mph, but on our Canadian tracks, like the markings on the speedometer are spaced 5 and 10 kilometers apart, and so 95 is a nice number because it hits the white mark, and the next one is 100 kilometers an hour, which is 62.12, no, 62.15. And I do have mile markings, but they're much smaller numbers and they're inside the speedometer. And they're not as accurate. All right, we're gonna shut this bestseller down, and we're gonna continue once I hit the Ontario border. Cool. And the sign on the right says, "Welcome to Ontario." Yes! This feels like home. And it looks the same, right? But once you're here, that's it. You can use pusher axle on trucks. You can use so 4-axle trucks. You can use 4-axle trailers. Same road, same climate, totally different rules. And this is the rest area where I usually stop, because Manitoba allows you night driving, right? But Ontario does not allow you night driving, and there's a whole bunch of parking over there, and even oversized load, no problemo. And I took a picture of this sign, "Welcome to Ontario," and I usually do this little trick. So I went online on Google Maps and I found that sign and I posted my picture. I just reduced the size, and then in the picture I put my website, my pixels.com website, where people can buy my photos. And then you just check back in a few weeks and I see like my photo of that sign has already been seen by like, I forgot, 1,000 people. You know, it's kind of like free publicity if you know how to use it. And I do that sometimes. Just I go inside the restaurant, let's say, right, and I have my camera with me or even a cell phone, and I take a picture, and then I add my website and make sure the size is very small so that people don't steal it, and I just upload that picture to Google Maps, to the listing of that particular business, like a restaurant or, you know, Ontario rest area. So I killed my Facebook. No more Facebook. It's totally useless for business. I killed my Instagram. First I killed my photography Instagram, which was my personal website. I had no views there, so now I killed the Instagram I used for tracking pictures, because never once was I contacted with an offer of a load. It's all pretty much my fans from YouTube that enjoy watching, you know, additional pictures. And I don't have time for that. I gotta focus on the business side of trucking. So for now, I'll keep Twitter, because I follow my stock agency Twitter account, where sometimes they post all kinds of competitions, you know, about photography mostly, right? So I just keep Twitter because I find it's fun, and sometimes I do upload, you know, photography over there. And my main social media platform is YouTube, of course, where I constantly upload videos, and I did get some calls actually from people, you know, like business related calls, because you know, my contact info is listed in the About Me section there. If you click on About Me, About SERGEI, you can you know, send me an email, stuff like that. And one guy called me a few days ago saying, hey, we saw that you were moving this piling rig, and we have the same machine, just a different model. We want to ship to Western Canada. Can you give us a quote? So I gave him a quote. Of course, never heard back from the guy, but still, you know, he found me through YouTube. And so I'm keeping YouTube. I'm keeping Twitter just for myself, for entertainment, for photography. But for the business, the main one is either YouTube or my Google, my business listing, right? And I have a couple of websites. One of them is hooked up to my YouTube channel, and I still have the other one that I disconnected. Well, actually, wait a second. I had the other one connected. Yeah, I had this other one with my name, SERGEI DRATCHEV Heavy Haul. I did the forwarding, so now if you punch that in, it takes you to my Google business website, which is, you know, it's how people can find you on Google Maps and stuff like that. I find that is very useful. So Google Maps, YouTube, and that's it. So those are my two main business lead sources. And also what works, but it takes a very long time, is when you post your truck. You know, like on the load board, if you look at the menu, like all load boards, they have this one item in the menu will say search loads, and then another heading will say post trucks. And so I go there and I can post my truck as available, you know, in any state, any province. And so when I was sitting in Winnipeg, I posted my truck in Edmonton, Winnipeg, Denver, Colorado, even Houston. I thought if somebody has a good load, heck, I'll go empty to Texas and bring it back to Canada. And I did have a couple of calls. People called me, and and of course they call you when you open their listing. You know, they always track who's looking at their listing. Like if there's a listing on the load board, if they're getting too many calls or emails, they don't care. But if there's like no calls, no emails, and they cannot find a truck, I find quite often that the broker will start looking at the, I guess, like a log. It shows him or her who looked at the listing, like not just looked, you know, the general info, but the details. When you click on the heading of the listing, it gives you details like dimensions, weight, you know, where it's coming from, where it's going. And then they can see your phone number, they can see your email. And some lady called me today. Yeah, you know, this is so-and-so logistics. I saw that you looked at our posting or listing. And that's always, you know, irritates the heck out of me. Like, if I didn't contact you, right? If I didn't call you or I didn't email you about the listing, that means that something was wrong. You know, it means that I cannot do it. And so this particular listing, I forgot what it was, but Oh, I think it was a step deck load. Sometimes I look at step deck loads if I cannot find the RGN load. But of course, most step deck loads, you know, it's a bunch of items, right? Like, let's say the weight is 35,000 pounds, and you have like 12 skids, right? My empty weight with the Jeep is 73,500 pounds, so which leaves me just over 6,000 pounds, right? So if it's 6,000, if it's like, let's say the load is 5,900 pounds and it's, I don't know, 6 skids, you know, some basic stuff, you know, just to pay for fuel, I can do that. But if it's over that 6,000 pounds and my weight is over 80,000, at least in the States, I need a permit, right? And nobody will give you a permit if you can reduce the weight and remove some pieces. So most states, the rule is it has to be non-divisible, you know? So you should not be able to reduce the weight when you oversize. But of course in Canada it's about 90,000 is legal, not 80. But still. And so yeah, we are back to Trans-Canada, but as you already probably know by now, Trans-Canada, so-called Trans-Canada Highway in Ontario, it's all a 2-lane road. It's not a freeway, it's just super dangerous road, you know. Quite often people fall asleep, you know, and they hit you head on. So quite a few people died on this highway. Oh, and of course, after 6 or 7 p.m. you have the added danger of wildlife. Like, kind of like this, well, it's still early, it's only 4 o'clock local time, but they will start moving across the road, right? They don't care. I just went through the scale. Usually it's not open going this way, but there's a scale on the Manitoba side and it sits in the middle. So those guys, they can catch people from both sides. And the lights are flying. This time the lights were flashing from my side. I don't know if the other side was open. But, you know, I don't have a load. The Jeep is on the deck. So I went through. The sign said stop before entering the scale. Okay, so I stopped. Then I drove slowly across the scale, and I kept looking at the sign, because it can either say leave or depart, or it can say park and bring in papers. And I was going very slow, and it says leave. Thank you, sir. That's what we want to see. Yeah, it's, even though it's only 4 o'clock, but it already feels like it's getting dark. I don't know. Yeah, and this spot is gonna be like this. So I'd rather finish this stretch before Dryden, before it gets dark, because I remember when I'm on this stretch fully loaded, it's not fun. especially with a heavy load, you know, the road goes down, so the truck wants to pick up speed, accelerate to 100 miles an hour, so you have to brake. Then you start climbing, you have to start shifting. And the temperature is slowly dropping, so it used to be +2, 34 F, now we're down to +1, probably 32.5 F. So it's gonna look like this till I hit Dryden. See that at least there's no snow on the shoulder. That's good. But it did snow maybe like a week ago or something here, but very little. Oh yeah, in Manitoba, as I was sitting there, it snowed Monday, Tuesday. It probably was the same here, because the snow is still looks pretty clean. You know, like, okay, it's dirty here, but over there it still looks pretty clean, so which means that it's not that old. Alright, that's it. We're gonna finish this blockbuster here. And I might record something as I'm, if there's something happens, if I have some kind of news tomorrow or Sunday. Thanks for watching.